What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is Love and Marriage DC Season 1, Episode 6. I think we're on. So, we start this episode off. We have DJ Quick going to the doctor. Him and Ashley are going to the doctor because he's been having problems with his wrist. It's been swollen. He said it even got to the point where he couldn't even tie his shoes. And so, he went to the doctor, and basically, with a cursory look, she couldn't give him an actual diagnosis. But what I'm sure she's going to run more tests, do an x-ray and all of that. But what we saw on camera was basically, he was saying, well, I guess he had already gone to a doctor and they said it might be gout or it might be arthritis. And she said it may very well be arthritis, but both of those, and gout, but both of those things require a lifestyle change. The thing about gout, I know, because somebody in my family has gout, like there's certain foods that will inflame it. There's certain things. So when she says a lifestyle change, even something as simple as what you eating could flare it up. Him having arthritis, I mean, he's been using his wrist to DJ since we found out tonight. He's been DJing since he was 9 years old. And so that's wear and tear on your body, just like any other part of your body. If he had been running track since he was 9 years old or playing football since he was 9 years old, it's going to be wear and tear on your body. And so, it may very well be arthritis, but the doctor was like, we need you to wear a brace for the next, I think she said like 2 months. And he was like, wear a brace? Like what? And she said, yeah. He was like, every day? Yeah, Quick, every day. So then she was like, he said, well, even while I DJ, and she said, she said, even while I work. And she said, well, we want you to, as much as possible, try to wear it, and so basically in the confessional, he was like, I ain't wearing that brace. And Ashley was like, yeah, he's not going to wear the brace. He's not going to do anything that I suggest, that the doctor suggests, that's going to help him feel better. Because he's so bullheaded and in his own head about what he is or isn't going to do. So no, he's not going to do it. Even though we're sitting here telling him that this is the best thing for him to do. And all I could think is, oh, such a typical man. Like, listen, you say that your wrist is hurting. The doctor's telling you what you need to do to make your wrist feel better. And your response is, yeah, I ain't doing that. Quick, come on. And I understand Ashley's frustration because it's like, listen, if you won't listen to me, you won't listen to the doctor. You won't listen to your manager. Like, I don't know what anybody has to tell you to get you to understand. Now, later on in the episode, we get some clarity on why he pushes himself the way he does and why he responds and acts the way he does. And we'll get to that in a second. So, then we see Urena having lunch with her daughter. And they're talking about Jamie. And they're talking about how Jamie is such a hothead and how frustrated they are with him sometimes because of how he just, he's so bullheaded. And she said, I tried to talk to him and he said he understood and he said he heard me. But then he turned around and he went right back and did the same thing. And they were just talking about their frustrations. They were venting about their frustrations with, of course you love somebody. They love him. There's no question about that. But it's just frustrating sometimes when you're sitting there trying to figure out, okay, we need to do this, this, and this. And I can't get you to do this, this, and this. And you're not listening to me, or at least I feel like you're not listening to me. It was a cute little moment with her and her daughter. It was nice to see. So then we have dinner with the Samuels are going over to the Silver's house for dinner. And they have, a vegan option for Monique, And so they're having dinner, and basically Monique ends up talking about Winter the whole night. The whole thing with Winter and Ashley and what happened at the event last week. And Ashley is like, that is not what I asked her over here for. Like, I thought we were just going to have a nice meal. We were going to talk some talk. I didn't realize we were going to sit here and have a whole conversation and rehash the whole Winter thing. And Quick was like, well, listen, the way I feel about the whole situation is I feel like, y'all brought that drama to my wife's event. Like, my wife was having an event, and y'all brought the drama to the event. And basically what Monique was saying was, listen, I wasn't trying to be no bone carrier. I thought I was trying to fix something. I thought it was just a simple misunderstanding. I clearly made it worse. Ashley was like, you did. Ashley was like, you did. You did. And she said, because I'm just not messy. And Chris was like, yeah, she just not messy like that. Like, I know she didn't mean no harm by it. And she said, because winter is usually about empowering women. And I just can't believe that this is what it was. And, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And Ashley was like, at the end of the day, I just don't play about mine. I don't play about my house. I don't play about my husband. I don't play about it, And at the, I felt like that's what's going on here. And then this whole, you said this rumors about this and rumors. She said, listen, we don't care about the rumors. At the end of the day, she was married to a professional and a professional ball player. Like, she's had rumors and she's heard rumors too. Like, but in her case, the rumors was probably true because he was sleeping with the nanny and had a couple of kids. That's another conversation. But like Ashley said, Ashley was like, hell, I done heard rumors about myself, and I was like, for real, I did that. So we have learned how to process and deal with not dealing with rumors. Like, we've learned how to live in that world. And for her to bring a rumor to us, or, oh, well, I heard this and I heard that. Like, that's not the energy I'm using in this. That's not the energy that I'm trying to have. And so Monique was like, listen, I really feel bad because I really feel like I stirred this pot and didn't mean to. Would you be interested in having a dinner, a lunch or whatever with Winter so we could try to clear the air? And Ashley was like, I mean, I guess. The other thing Monique was telling them about was her, the person that be realigning her energy. And she was like, my energy was so off. I had to call my therapist, my energy therapist. I forgot the child name. To realign my energy. And so she was like, you know what? Y'all might, maybe y'all could do that. Y'all, y'all might like it or whatever. So they're going to go to the energy lady and get her to realign their energy, and they ended up going to the salt cave. Now, I haven't been to that particular salt cave, but I have been to a salt cave. It was an interesting experience. It was interesting. I would recommend it. Anyway, so then we have this scene with Winter. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all, and I'm really trying. I'm really trying. But first of all, your children walk in, and you don't even recognize, you talking about what's going on with this hair here? And your son says, my hair's been like this for about a week. How you just noticing? Then she was like, well, I'm going to go out of town. I'm going to LA for a little while, about a week. Your father's going to come in, so basically your daddy going to be with y'all. So then she lets them know that she's moved forward with the divorce and that she's going to be divorcing old boy. And her daughter starts clapping. And she was like, oh my gosh, what is that clap about? And they proceed to have this conversation that I find to be very interesting. Basically, her daughter is like, well, I just feel like, he was just trying to bag you. And the son was like, yeah, I just feel like that, but he was just trying to. And she said, well, Aunt Winter was like, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad because I feel like, that I should have seen these things and I just didn't see. And her daughter was like, oh no, Mom, it's not your fault. I mean, he love bombed you. First of all, this whole term of love bomb, I've started hearing it more and more over the last couple of months. Everywhere I've heard love bomb. Is this like a new code word? Because everything is a love bomb now. Oh, he was love bombing you. Oh, she was love bombing you. Listen, he was courting you. He was dating you. He was doing what a man does with a woman when he's trying to get with her. It doesn't, again, I don't know nothing about what the man was doing behind the scenes, okay? But every time a man buy a woman a gifts and tell a woman he love her and he want to be, that don't mean he, anyway, shut up, Chris. Just, let me, boop, boop, boop. So let's get back to this. So then, the daughter and the son proceed to tell her how none of it's her fault and she shouldn't have, and there was no way she could have seen anything, and there was no way she could have known because he was such a bad guy and he just was so horrible of a person, and he love bombed her and he tricked her and he manipulated her and he bedazzled her and bedoozled her. And I'm thinking to myself, first of all, I know that her children are older, but this conversation I think is a bit much. Second of all, I don't care what, how old is her daughter, 16? I don't care what a 16-year-old tells you. Ma'am, there were things that you should have seen and things you should have understood. I'm sorry. I don't care what you say. And I just felt like this scene was so weird and so awkward Like, why are you sitting here getting validation from your children? And you getting validation on stuff that they're really not equipped to give you validation on. Because a 16-year-old having the ability to see warning signs and red flags is very different from a 40-year-old being able to see the signs of warning, warning signs and red flags. And I don't feel like it's fair to say, oh, well, my daughter said that I didn't do anything wrong, so now I feel vindicated. Child, what is 16? Anyway, that was just a weird scene for me, but whatever. So then we have the winter Ashley dinner with Monique, or lunch with Monique. And basically what we found out, like I said last week, it was a really bad game of telephone, right? But I also feel like Winter knows how to play games and Winter knows how to manipulate things. But on its surface, Monique repeated something, and the way in which Winter said she said to Monique is not the way Monique conveyed it to Ashley and Urena. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I'm gonna just let it sit there. And Ashley was like, yeah, because the way, you made it seem like we just walked up and we were just like bullying you and beating up on you or something. And then you made it seem like you was like, because I heard about your husband, and I heard what your husband did. And that is not how that conversation went. That's not how any of that went down. And I just didn't appreciate that, because I felt like you were trying to put it out there like this, and that, and the other happened, and it ain't even go down like that. And so Winter was like, well, no, it just wasn't conveyed to you correctly. That is not what I said. All I was saying was, yeah, I get it, because I've heard rumors too. When you made a comment about rumors, I was just like, And so Winter was like, at the end of the day, I was just talking to a friend. I thought I was talking to my friend and I was venting. Yeah, you were talking to your friend and you were venting, and you were doing exactly what Monique said your ass did. Now, don't get me wrong. Monique, you stirred the pot. Monique, you was carrying bones. But Monique was doing what she was doing as far as pushing this story along. But Winter, let's not act like, once again, let's not act innocent, like we don't have anything like there's no accountability on your part. Let's not do that. At the end of the day, you did throw it out there. You did make it seem like you knew something about what was going on in their marriage. You absolutely did do that. But ultimately, and what I appreciate about Ashley, first of all, Ashley, you look good in this scene. You look good, Ashley. I like the flat hair. And whatever you did with your beat was cute. Okay, it was a very nice beat you had going on. And I like the flat hair. I like that. But what I could appreciate about how Ashley carried this scene was, she was like, now when I walk up out of here, though, I want it to be no problems. I don't want it to be no, oh, I still got an issue with Ashley. Or I still feel like we got some unresolved issues. Because I'm not playing this game with you. I'm not doing this back and forth, okay? Either we cool or we not. And honestly, to be perfectly honest with you at this point, I really don't care to be cool with you. But I just don't want no shit. I feel like that's what Ashley was in that moment. I'll be honest, I don't know if they resolved any damn thing. But I do feel like they were able to sit down in one place at one time and say what needed to be said in a calm manner. Ultimately, they don't like each other, and that's okay. Can we just really need to normalize people that don't like each other. It's okay. Because there's a lot of people I don't like. I could work with them. You could be friends with a friend of mine. Like, I got friends who got friends that I don't like. We can normalize that. Like, everybody don't have to be friends. Everybody don't have to call each other. We don't have to exchange numbers. We don't have to text. I don't even need to be in your text group. Don't put me in no group chat. I don't need to be in no group chat with people I don't like. All of that is cool. Just call me and let me know where we going, when we going to be there. And I'll tell you if I'm coming. We really need to get to a place where we normalize that. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let me get off my soapbox. Let me get back to the story. I feel like I've been doing a lot of soapboxing tonight in my reviews. Let me just get back to the story. So, there's that. I don't have no more energy for that. I don't. I got half energy for half a head. Anyway, moving on. So, then we go to the salt cave, right? The three couples, they go down to the salt cave, and Monique's spirit guide is there. And she goes around the room. Now, Jamie ain't really feeling it. Jamie was like, I don't believe in all of this. I'm going to let her go ahead and do her thing. I'm going to be respectful about it. But I'm not really feeling it. But she sort of described Jamie to a T. Well, when I say that, I'm saying based on what we've seen on the show. I don't know him like that. Based on what we've seen on the show, that he's a bulldog. He can be aggressive, but that basically that aggression, it comes from insecurities. And when he's starting to feel insecure about something, or he's feeling some kind of way about something, then that's where that comes out. That's when the bulldog comes out. That's when the aggression comes out. And I think that's fair for a lot of us. When we are uncomfortable, or we are in a space that we doubt, or that we question ourselves in, then our emotions come out in other ways. And in this situation, his emotions are coming out in an aggressive tone towards really the people that are around him, which would be his family and his friends. Now, he did admit that, to a certain extent. Now, he admitted that in his confessional. Now, that night at the actual event, he looked like he was sitting there looking at her like, I wish you would just go on and go to the next person. So she went around the room and did the guys first, and then she kind of came back around and did the ladies. So she did Chris, and basically, ultimately, it was about Chris moving into his desire and moving into his passion, which is coaching. Chris has started coaching and moving into that. It wasn't really that deep with Chris. I feel like with Chris and Monique, because she's worked with them before, they've kind of already gone through this, because she didn't really have a whole lot to say about Monique either. But I feel like because Monique said that's who she talks to all the time. So then we had Quick. And this is where we learned a lot about Quick. So she said, I'm seeing nines. I'm seeing nines, multiple nines around you. And so we found out the significance of the 9 is he found out his mother had cancer and that she was dying when he was 9 years old. He said she died when I was actually 10, but we found out when I was 9. And then he said my father died in 1999. So that's where the 9s come from. And so he talked about the fact that, his mom died when he was 9. He knew she was dying. He watched her die. That's traumatic for anybody, much less a child, right? I went through that with my grandmother, and I was a grown-ass adult, and it's traumatic. Then he said, his father, he said he pushes himself because, he said, I wish my father could see where I am today. I wish my father could see my family and see my wife. He said, everybody talked about my dad being a bad father because he encouraged and supported the fact that I wanted to be a DJ. And everybody was like, that's not a real job. That's not a profession. He can't make no money off of that. Why are you supporting that? Why are you encouraging that? And people really questioned him as a father because he supported my dreams. He said, and I really wish he could be here today to see how successful I am so that, he can almost kind of look at those people and be like, see what you thought it wasn't going to be nothing. Look at him now. And he said, I feel like that's probably why I do work so hard, because I want to just prove these people wrong, and I want to make my dad proud. And Chris was like, he see you, though. He sees you. He sees it. And he was talking about how he doesn't allow himself to get comfortable in his success, because in his life, every time something good happened to him, it followed by something bad. He said, so at this point, I just expect it. So when something is good that's happening, it's almost like it's a cloud. I'm just waiting for the thunder to come. I'm waiting for the lightning, because I know that the storm is coming. That's just how I've always been. And so I thought we got some great insight. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that was really, really deep with that insight that we got on Quick. And it explains a lot about why he doesn't slow down, why he doesn't allow himself to stop and smell the roses and enjoy. Now that, and this is what I always say, once you've identified it, now you got to fix it. So now you know why you do it, and that's great. We know why you do it. Now you got to fix it, right? So then we get to Urana, and we find out that Urana is a perfectionist. She feels like everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be in line. And she said, yeah, because even when we going out the house, I feel like I have to have all my makeup and my outfit's got to be perfect. My hair's got to be perfect. I've always been that person and living in that place of needing to be perfect and needing to put on that persona. And she got very emotional and she was crying and stuff. And Jamie was sitting there like this. And in that moment, I was thinking, Jamie, hug your wife. Put your arm around your wife. Show something. She needs some comfort right now. You might not always understand where the tears are coming from or why, but you see your wife is crying. Bruh, give her a little, little and in the confessional, she even said that, and he was like, "Well, I didn't understand where the tears were coming from." You don't have to understand, Jamie. You don't have to understand where the tears are coming from to be able to give her some comfort in that moment. Like the explanation can come later. Your wife is crying. Something that woman said got her feeling some kind of way. But I feel like ultimately, it was a good scene. And like Chris said at the end of the night, he said, I feel like we know each other better. I feel like and I feel like you did too. You know, I feel like they all got a chance to kind of know each other better. Whether you believed in what this woman was saying or not, it opened up the dialogue. It opened up the conversation for y'all to learn some things about each other. Anyway, I thought it was a decent episode. It looks like next week they're turning up the heat. We know they already filmed the reunion, and from what everybody is saying, the reunion is muy caliente. So I can't wait till we get there. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.